Our Consumer Watch tonight, Dick's Sporting Goods is blaming shoplifting for a nearly 25% drop in profits. The company reported its second quarter earnings yesterday with sales up more than 3%, but profits, Shayna, they were actually down 23%.
The CEO said in a statement that they missed their projections due to inventory shrink, which means loss due to theft, fraud, damage, or accounting errors. Dick's Sporting Goods follows Target, Nordstrom, and even Whole Foods, who credited crime and theft for closing some locations and missing their profit projections.
So joining us this evening for insight on Michigan retail sales is Andrea Bitely, the Vice President for Communications at Michigan Retailers Association. So Andrea, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's just start. So is retail theft a problem here in the state of Michigan? And is it an issue that I guess our big retailers are seeing specifically?
Retail theft is an issue here in Michigan as well as around the country, and our retailers are definitely seeing that here in the state of Michigan. We aren't seeing it in the same way that they see in California or some other larger locations where there are people who run into a store and steal. We're talking about more smaller theft, but we're also talking about theft over a long period of time.
So you mentioned there have been a lot of those viral videos of the smash and grabs, the sudden sort of flash mobs of people stealing items of that theft. But there's also been a huge increase that we've all noticed of self-checkout lanes and cashierless stores. Is that playing a role in this, that there's not that human barrier to prevent some of this theft?
That is definitely a factor. There's also the factor that with inflation, goods are getting more expensive. So when those goods get more expensive, some people decide to steal the items. And one impact that we can all have on inflation is not stealing from those stores. Every time someone steals from a store, it means that the item will be more rare, which means prices will go up. So stealing is actually driving prices up.
I guess so. How do companies combat this? How are they fighting this? How are they dealing with this issue?
Well, we're lucky to have a partnership with the Michigan Attorney General's office as well as local prosecutors across Michigan. Last summer, Governor Whitmer signed into place legislation that increased the penalty for organized retail crime, as we call it, making it a felony. And it is a serious crime. And some may consider it just, I borrowed something from a store. But no, in reality, it is a serious crime that cost employers, employees, and other shoppers significant amounts of money.
Now, when you say organized retail theft, that sounds like a bigger operation. Does that still apply to your individual shoplifter?
It absolutely can. An individual shoplifter can actually steal large volumes of goods. Recently here in the Lansing area, we saw an individual steal more than $10,000 worth of goods from a Meijer store over a period of time. And that is organized retail crime. That individual then could potentially go out and sell those goods. Even some will take orders for a specific product. In the Detroit area recently, there was two individuals that went into a chain pharmacy store and stole more than $2,000 worth of makeup products. I love makeup as much as any woman, but I can tell you that to use $2,000 worth of drugstore makeup would take an awful long time. So that those products then went into the black market or, into the marketplace in a way other than through the traditional retail outlet.
Very insightful conversation. I'm also curious, with the Christmas season approaching us very quickly, will we potentially see those shoplifting numbers increase?
We could. It's entirely possible. When there's a will, there is a way. And with more people in stores, it could be easier for some to think that they won't get spotted by store clerks. However, I will tell you that stores are getting smarter. We hear about artificial intelligence writing. Well, artificial intelligence also helps law enforcement and retail outlets find ways to find their shoplifters. So while you may think you weren't seen, you would be surprised.
Oh boy.
Interesting. Thank you for another AI story idea, probably coming soon.
That's right.
All right, Andrea Bitely of the Michigan Retailers Association, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.